As LA continues to rethink its infrastructure, new opportunities will inevitably open up when it comes to design and architecture. And I'm on my way to meet someone who has a life-sized vision for the future of his massive city. Christopher.
How are you?
Good. Nice to meet you. Pleasure. Nice to meet you. In front of the iconic City Hall.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah. All right, so I see a lot of cities creating new positions because we're thinking differently. I'm wondering what the Chief Design Officer is going to do with a city that, for me, is really over-engineered and has been for decades.
That's a great way to think of it, and actually nobody's asked the question quite that way. Much of what we have to do is about unmaking before we can make this new city.
Christopher came to City Hall from the Los Angeles Times, where he served as architecture critic, writing extensively about public space and civic architecture, both in Southern California and around the world. In his new role, he helps bring a unified vision to projects that are shaping the urban landscape of Los Angeles. Certainly in my network, there's hype about Los Angeles, about the mayor, about the things that are happening, but this is a city that was made on hype. So how much of it is it, political peacocking and we're gonna change LA, and how much of it is actually happening on the surface?
The history of Los Angeles is a history of myth-making, boosterism, selling ourselves both here and to the rest of the world, selling this idea of endless expansion and growth primarily, and this idea that growth is a way to solve all of our problems. And that's why I think all of the changes that we're trying to make to the city have to begin with thinking about how every element that we put into the right-of-way has to be thinking about the climate crisis, or designed, equipped to take on the climate crisis. So there's a lot of talk about decarbonization, of course, walkability, pedestrian amenities, innovative multifamily housing, transit, of course, reversing some of the, let's say, ways in which the 20th century city over-engineered or overstepped. And so we have consistently gotten a mandate and funding from the public to really rethink the city in a fundamental way. That doesn't mean it'll happen overnight, but we do have that kind of wind at our back and momentum, I would say.
So how much focus is there on climate change here in your work and here in this city? Is it something that people recognize as important? Are you advanced compared to maybe the national narrative in this country?
I would say yes, very much so. In LA, because of our geography, we have to think about and design strategies against sea level rise on the coast, but also much further inland, and the problem is drought, extreme heat, wildfire. So from my point of view, in terms of design, it's really thinking about how the design of the public realm in particular can temper the most extreme effects of climate change. And that's a complete turnaround from the way in which we've designed the public realm in this city, which was so much about cars. So those people who can't afford to duck into an Uber or a Lyft when it gets really hot, or can't afford to have a private car or waiting at a bus stop, those are the Angelenos that we're really thinking about, who are in some ways at the front lines of the climate crisis, and we really want to put that population front and center in our design strategy.